This is Neural Newscast. Here is what matters this morning. From Neural Newscast, I'm Thomas Keene.
And I'm Hannah Whitmore.
Today, May 19th, Nebraska has officially become the first state to enforce Medicaid work requirements under the new federal mandate.
The state is moving 8 months ahead of the January 2027 deadline. This shift could potentially strip coverage from more than 25,000 residents.
Governor Jim Pillen argues that work provides purpose. However, the early rollout is beginning before Washington has released official implementation guidance.
This policy stems from the 2025 tax and spending law, which slashed over $900 billion in Medicaid funding, while requiring these new work rules.
Analysts at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities say Nebraska is rushing a massive operational lift without sufficient hiring or outreach.
While the state claims its staff is trained on new verification standards, most of the coverage losses will not be visible until August renewals.
Looking at the broader fiscal impact, national Medicaid spending reached a record high of $971 billion across the country last year.
Republican lawmakers view these work requirements as a necessary lever to stem the rapid upswing in government entitlement spending.
The Congressional Budget Office projects that these changes could save the federal government $901 billion over the next decade.
However, around $326 billion of those savings will come from reduced enrollment. That could leave 14 million people uninsured by 2034. Critics point to previous efforts in Arkansas where 18,000 people lost coverage, primarily due to confusing reporting requirements rather than employment gains. The administrative burden is increasing for state workers as well. They must now redetermine eligibility every 6 months instead of annually.
In other news, Montana is preparing to follow Nebraska's lead with its own implementation slated for this July.
Iowa and Arkansas are also moving ahead of schedule, though Arkansas plans a soft launch without immediate disenrollments.
Health policy experts at Georgetown University suggest that states moving toward the June 1st federal regulation date are already understaffed and reaching a breaking point.
Despite these warnings, Nebraska officials maintain that their phased approach will focus on protecting eligible members while enforcing the new standards.
Here is what else we are watching on the watch list today.
Federal regulators are expected to release the final guidance for Medicaid work rule implementation on June 1st. Pharmacists in Nebraska are anticipating the first signs of coverage issues later this summer as patients try to renew prescriptions. And we are monitoring the first set of monthly enrollment data from early adopter states to track the speed of coverage losses.
That is the news for now. Thanks for listening.
From Neural Newscast, I'm Hannah Whitmore.
And I'm Thomas Keene. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.